overall, finished 6th in the SEC, and then runner-up in the SEC Tournament Championship. Faulkner, Sierra, Nicholson, and Spence will be the back line in the 4-3-4. Anna Kate, Maddie Barnes, and then Jessica Reitner will be the attacking mid. And up top, Coffin, Katero, and Ball. The goalkeeper for Auburn, Amy Howard, the senior. No one has played more minutes in goal than Amy Howard. You see her wearing the blue jersey. First in the NCAA in minutes played. Has played every single minute of the season for Auburn. The BYU Cougars coming in 19-1-1 overall, the WCC champions. This is how they will line up in the 4-2-3-1 formation. There it is. Paige Hunt, the freshman, with the seniors, Bazroni, Cutshaw, and Cusick. Manning and Coulihan in the middle, Murphy, Ringwood, and Thornock, and then Carly Payne-Holmo, the high forward. Erica Owens will be in goal as we get underway at South Field.
And the whistle is blown tonight for what is set to be an incredibly exciting matchup between two teams. Again, one of the first picked into the tournament and one of the last picked into the tournament. But again, throw the record books away, throw the stats away, and let's see who brings the game tonight. BYU, an incredibly dangerous team on their home pitch. Good fan turnout so far tonight, and they're continuing to come in. And BYU has performed here very, very well throughout the season. We'll see what they can do tonight against these Auburn Tigers.
BYU, the #1 seed in this quadrant, #2 ranked team overall, the highest ranking in school history, right behind Stanford.
And the Auburn Tigers, again, coming in here kind of a little bit of the underdog, but that happened in Seattle as well, and they took care of business there, and they're staying out west to try and take down the Cougars.
41 degrees at kickoff time, calm wind, and no snow, most importantly. It'll cool off a little bit throughout the night. About 52 degrees at kickoff time in Auburn, Alabama. It's only about 10 degrees cooler than what the Tigers would have been used to at home.
We got a good foul here coming in the middle with Jessica Ringwood. And a nice little interface there with Anna Kate early in the game. But there was nothing dirty about the play. She came in a little bit late. Anna Kate goes down. Referee makes a great call, controlling the game early. And the Tigers will take a kick.
There's the West Coast Conference Goalkeeper of the Year, Erica Owens, 9th in the NCAA in goals against average, only giving up about a goal every 2 matches. Auburn in the attacking third, and the first shot will head wide left.
When you talk about the weather here, we are only about, like you said, about 10 degrees colder here than what the Auburn Tigers will be facing at home, but the elevation is significant, and Auburn came into town yesterday, so it will be interesting to see as the game wears on if the elevation plays a role in Auburn's ability to hang for the entire 90 minutes of the match.
Auburn again in the attacking third. Coffin down the left side, crossing it in, and it will go out for a corner kick, hitting off of Dana Oldroyd-Cusick.
Auburn getting some stats on the board early before BYU. One shot, not on goal, but a shot just the same, and now earning a corner kick, first of the match.
Coffin making her 79th consecutive start. Her 92nd match that she's played at Auburn. That is a school record. And they go with a short corner. And it's quickly taken away by BYU and cleared away. Faulkner will give chase near midfield.
Carly Payne-Holmo aggressively defending that corner kick and getting the ball up. Michelle Murphy showing her speed as she attacks that ball. Now, keep in mind that Auburn scored 2 goals against Washington, but both of them were in the first 15 minutes. And so you have, again, that same kind of dynamic happening here. They got the first early shot. What will happen here, we need to see, is will BYU close them down, or will Auburn take advantage of their early game?
Turnover. Auburn trying to mount an attack. Ball gets taken away by Manning. Thornock trying to cross it in. Michelle Murphy was there, but it's cleared away.
Now BYU has quite possibly the best offense that I've seen in the school's history. And what makes them so dynamic is the way they play the forwards and midfielders together. But it's that ability that they have to find possession, find feet, find each other, coming from the inside of the field to the outside of the field. So hopefully BYU will find a way to settle down early in this matchup and use the strategy that has served them well all season long. Right now, Auburn showing a lot of aggression and a lot of quickness in the start of this game.
Carly Payne-Homo crossing in the middle, pushing it forward and too far forward. Kim Spence will be able to clear it out. BYU has 49 goals this season, 15th in the NCAA in scoring, and they've only allowed 11 all year, which is 6th best in the country.
Well, their defense has been outstanding. When you have a defensive line like this one, I mean, you're talking about three seniors who have extensive playing experience, matched with one freshman who has come in and played the role very well in Paige Hunt. You have just a dynamic lineup back here. Then you fill the middle with a Chloe Coulihan and a magnet like Rachel Manning, and then bring that dynamic up top. It's just a very, very tough defense.
Lindsay Lisenby-Cutshaw, the senior from Park City, anchoring that defensive four, the West Coast Conference Player of the Year. How good do you have to be as a defender to win Player of the Year? Usually, you're going to give that to a forward that's a goal scorer.
In the West Coast Conference, you've got to be dang good. West Coast Conference is a tremendous soccer conference. You've got Portland, you've got Santa Clara, you've got teams that have made consistent appearances inside of the NCAA tournaments, taking things all the way to the Final Four and into deep levels of the tournament consistently. So again, very strong conference. But you know, the SEC is also a strong conference. So Auburn, they may have a few additional losses on the books this year than BYU, but they've also played a very tough competitive schedule.
The WCC has sent 19 teams to the Final Four. 3 times have been crowned NCAA champions. Santa Clara in 2001, and then Portland did it twice in 2002 and 2005. So that's 3 titles in the last 11 years from this conference.
All right, well, we talked a little bit about elevation, but let's just show you a comparison. Auburn is at 709 feet above sea level. BYU at 4,500, 49 feet above sea level. So, yeah, just a teeny bit of a difference there. And that can be felt as a player playing in these types of conditions. I know coming from BYU and going to these lower altitudes, I always felt like I could run forever. But then when we got back home, I realized just how tough it is to breathe in this thick mountain air when you're not used to it. So that can take its toll later in the early minutes of the game. Excitement, jitters, the game on the line will pull you through that, but as the time starts ticking and you get into the 70th minute, that's when we're really going to see whether it's having an impact or not.
I grew up in Indiana, which is a very flat state, low elevation. They say you stand on a tuna can, you can see the entire state. I mean, that's how low and flat it is. And when I came out to BYU for the first time, was running cross country, my very first workout, we did mile repeats, and I thought there's no way. I cannot handle collegiate long distance running, and little did I know how much of that had to do with the altitude. I mean, just gasping for air.
Well, most people who attend BYU don't have to be on the cross country team to figure that out. They simply have to walk the death stairs that lead from the base of campus to the top of campus, and they figure out immediately that there's also an elevation change from the bottom of the stairs to the top.
7.5 minutes gone away here in the first half, still scoreless between BYU and Auburn. Marquette awaits the winner. The 4 seed in this quadrant, ranked number 12 in the country, had a 3-1 win over Princeton just a couple of hours ago. That game will take place on Saturday evening.
It's a great game of soccer we're watching out here tonight. Both teams very competitive, both playing very, very quick. The field, as we mentioned, is soft and fast, and you can feel the pace of this game is really going. So I think between the excitement and the jitters of what comes of an NCAA type of a game, a playoff game, and just the speed and tenacity of both teams, we really have a great matchup on our hands. A lot of back and forth going on, but what you're noticing is neither team is getting the other one a clean shot right now.
Karen Hoppe is in her 14th season as the head coach at Auburn. 164 wins, just 110 losses for Hoppe, who was a goalkeeper at UCF in the late 80s and was 6 years head coach at Central Florida before coming over to Auburn. 2002 SEC Coach of the Year, ball in the box, and Howard comes out to make the save. Coach Hoppe has assisted by associate head coach Amy Burberry, Ben Madsen, and Katie Frierson.
That was not a bad idea there. Lindsay Lisenby-Cutshall seeing Jaden Thornock. Jaden Thornock, one of those dynamic and incredibly fast forwards playing on the outside. And she was almost there, but a very experienced Howard goalkeeper coming out early to make the play.
Razzaroni going across midfield to the freshman Michelle Murphy. Murphy down the left side, crossing it in the middle, and gets by Jessica Ringwood and cleared away.
All the fans excited about that one. Looked like Ringwood may have had an opportunity on it, but then last minute here as a pull-up. Little disappointing to the fans as you can hear them all oh-ing over there on the sideline. But BYU starting to put together and mounting an offensive attack that could do something.
10th minute here in Provo, Utah. We welcome those of you that are watching around the country and around the world. Especially welcome those of you watching in Auburn, Alabama, tuning into BYU TV for the first time. You can join us and comment on the game using the hashtag BYU TV Sports. Follow us also at BYU TV Sports. Using that hashtag that you see in your bottom left, go ahead and tell us where you're watching the match from tonight, whether it's here in the United States or around the world. Let us know where you're watching.
And we strongly recommend, if you're watching the matchup tonight, to watch it with some hot chocolate so that you can feel like you're really here while you're watching the game. It'll just bring the feeling like you're just coming right through the screen with us, because it's cold.
Hopefully many of you are already sitting in the confines of your own home with the heater running.
Right, but I'm saying still go with the hot cocoa, because you have a good excuse for it, number one, and second of all, you'll feel more part of the game here.
You could be outside watching us on the BYU TV app. Jess Ringwood takes the shot, and the save made by Amy Howard. I mean, countless ways that you can watch this. You can watch on Dish or DirecTV. You might be online at BYUTVsports.com, on Roku, using the BYU TV app. You could be here in person and maybe still watching it on your phone.
Well, you have to watch the replays, because when you're here in person, you get the atmosphere, but you miss out on the replays, which is a major bummer. So far, both teams given some great battle in this game. A lot of early energy felt on this field. You can just feel a little bit of the anxiety, a little bit of the nerves coming forward, and you can start to see the teams are settling down a bit as you see the touch kind of calming, and certainly not a settled down play happening right there, perhaps.
Foul called. Bianca Sierra.
Michelle Murphy clearly has the ball, and then she's going to get a little special nudge there from Bianca Sierra. Referee's going to call her back over like he was going to issue a yellow, but did not. Only issued a warning instead, but she has been warned, which means next time there's a foul like that in the middle of the field, she'll likely get a yellow. So she'll want to be careful in this tournament. Any cards you receive carry over into the rest of the tournament. But more importantly, if you get a couple yellows, you're out of the game.
Ball still in the box, and the shot is saved off the line by Howard.
What a shot! What a shot by Rachel Manning. That was a full volley ripper and an amazing save by Howard. Unbelievable. Have a look. Look at that volley shot by Rachel Manning. Great save by Howard. Carly Payne-Homo in on the rebound, but not there quick enough. As you can see, here comes the volley. What a shot. Block here. Carly Payne-Homo on the rebound. Not able to get there. Great save by number 6. Amy Howard in the net for the Auburn Tigers.
Manning that close to her first goal of the season.
She needs to work on the magnetism to the back of the net now instead of just the head. Maybe that's what it is.
She was magnetic to the goalie.
It was a beautiful shot. That is such a difficult ball to hit. Non-soccer players out there need to understand what you just saw and how beautiful it was, because that ball, the volley shot, is one of the hardest to hit. You're hitting a ball that's flying in the air, and yet you're trying to hit it dynamically so that it stays low. Very, very difficult ball to hit, and very beautifully played by Rachel Manning.
A difficult goal to score is that 4th goal scored yesterday against England, that bicycle kick.
Yeah, you don't see many of those in women's matches, I'm going to be honest.
That was number 1 on SportsCenter's top 10 last night. BYU's been on there this year. Lindsay Lisenby-Cutshall had a free kick from pretty close to midfield against Texas earlier in the year that was #3 on SportsCenter's top 10 that night. 14 minutes expired here in the first half, still scoreless.
And lots of aggression picking up in this game, too. You're seeing a lot of bodies, a lot of physical play starting to happen on the ball as players are coming in. But keep in mind that soccer, it is called football in other countries, but not because we can tackle in those types of ways, but because you can play a physical game. What you have to watch out for, like right here, Lindsay Lisenby, this is not a good situation.
She and Ashley Cotero were getting into it, and Alan Chapman is going to talk to both of them.
He's going to pull both of them over and warn both of them. Again, not pulling out the yellows early in the game, but warning both of them to leave it alone. Both of them using their hands, using their arms, getting involved. You cannot do that. You can come in and you can be playing a very physical matchup, but your arms have to be down, hands have to be down. You cannot grab, you cannot push with your arms straight out, but you can lean into a player. You can knock them off the ball with your body, but that's not what was happening between the two of them.
Ball sent into the box. And Murphy gets taken down.
Oh dear. Same player that just got a warning, which means yellow card. Yep, and here it comes.
That's Bianca Sierra, the junior from Livermore, California, picking up the yellow card here in the 15th minute.
Michelle Murphy going down hard there with the shoulder. Looked like it was Ashley Cotero, actually.
Yeah, it was Cotero, not Sierra.
Yeah,
my apologies. Sierra was the one that had the warning.
And that was a very hard hit on Michelle Murphy. Looks like she is okay, but a very, very hard hit on Michelle Murphy. Just was talking about the physicality of this game. And again, keep in mind the emotions of the players on the field. Both of these teams are in a match where if you don't win, your season is over. Nobody wants to end that way. And, you know, certainly not when you're a #2 ranked team, BYU, and certainly not when you're not on your home turf, and this is an anticlimactic way to end a season if you're an Auburn Tiger. So you got a lot of emotions on this field, and these girls are physical, strong athletes, and they're putting it all on the line tonight. So, you know, you don't look at that situation and say, oh, Cotero, she got a yellow card, dirty player. Absolutely not. Cotero, physical player, working hard for a game. And that's exactly what you're going to see on both sides of this table.
Both of these teams are certainly familiar with the NCAA tournament. Auburn, here for the 7th consecutive time, 11th overall. They've never gotten past the second round, trying to do something that they've never done before. And BYU, their first ever #1 seed, they didn't even make the tournament a year ago. I mean, that's just amazing. They've made it 14 of the 18 times, missed it last year, now a #1 seed. They've been to the Elite Eight before, but as a 1 seed, a chance to go to the Final Four for the first time. Michelle Murphy is in the box, pulling back to her left. Ball is loose and then slightly cleared out. It'll be throw in for BYU.
And Chloe Coulihan just inches away from that ball as it came into the middle. Michelle Murphy toying with it on the end line, trying to get the slot pass into the inside, but Coulihan not able to get there.
Hunt takes a rip and it goes left of the net.
Not a bad setup and not a bad shot option for Paige Hunt. She's coming up and playing aggressively out of the back. Ball is played in nicely. She did not get the hit she wanted on that ball, but it's a good shot for her to take.
Goal kick for Amy Howard.
I think this BYU team, I mean, you're seeing a BYU team with a lot of returning players from last season. I mean, the vast majority of the team out here is a returning player from last season. And yet this is a BYU team who's now ranked 2nd in the nation, who didn't even make it to the tournament last year. And I think you're seeing a lot of aggression and a lot of determination from this team coming because of that. They didn't like the way last year ended. They want to put a different spin. You got a lot of phenomenal seniors out here.
There's one of them, Jessica Ringwood.
Jessica Ringwood with the face. And they want to put something on the end of the season to memorialize what they've been able to do here on this field.
First corner kick for BYU. Ringwood dropped it off to Oldroyd Cusick. Dana with it at her feet again. Pushing it forward and a little too far forward for Carly Payne-Holmo.
You see Dana Oldroyd Cusick, a little bit of a knee brace on that right knee, just a knee sprain coming in here as she is working through that, but has seemed to be unaffected so far. She continues to play a very fast, physical, and very good quality game of soccer.
She redshirted back in 2009 because of an ACL tear, and so any type of a knee injury to Olderud Cusick is a scary thing. Glad that she's still playing. Manning takes a rip from far out. That was a good 25, 30 yards out.
Manning appears to be determined to score tonight, which is a great new role for her. We talked a bit about Chloe Coulihan. Chloe Coulihan, a transfer from Portland, has done phenomenal things for BYU in the midfield, but she is one of those players that was quiet in the goal-scoring arena until the last 5 games of the season, where she notched a goal every single game. Now all of a sudden you see Rachel Manning, who hasn't scored all season, getting hungry in the NCAAs. You like it when you see those players stepping up and saying, hey, I haven't done it yet, but I can certainly do it now.
Nothing like going an entire season without scoring and then notching 5 in 5 games.
Well, if she was more than capable.
I mean, if there is famine and there's feast.
She's more than capable, and you could see that all season. Incredibly talented player, great shots on the ball. She just wasn't able to quite capitalize earlier.
Throw in for the Auburn Tigers. Into the box, Erica Owens calling everyone off and gets it up herself and quickly starts the counter with Dana Olderud Cusick. Pushed up the line towards Carly Payne-Holmo and cleared off. Ball goes out and it will be... Is it throw in for BYU?
Yes.
I didn't see the hand signal.
BYU throw in. The fans are quite happy about it. Auburn questioning it. Isn't that always the way it is? It seems to, regardless of the call, the fans are either happy or upset. I watched a game the other day where even when the ref made a call, they were still yelling at him. So I just don't think refs just can't do anything right, can they? There's a foul happens, everybody yells, he makes the call.
Somebody's always mad at you, and when both sides are mad at you, you know you're doing a good job.
That's right. Yeah, when only one side's yelling at you, you might have a problem in the game there. But refs, certainly a lot of times the unsung heroes in these games, they're out there. You know, the best referees are ones that you don't really remember at the end of the game. They're the ones they didn't change the game, but they kept the game playable, and that's their job, is to keep the game in play and keep players safe. So at the end of the game, when you don't really remember the ref, you just think, oh, that ref must have been pretty good, because I don't remember being verbally upset with him. Then you know they've really done a great job. They've just called a nice, clean game, kept the players safe, and the game played.
Neither team has notched a goal. Quite physical, though, there in that middle third of the field.
When again, we have 20 minutes have ticked off the clock so far. Just enough time for things to really start to settle in. And I think what we're going to see here now as the game progresses is we're going to start to see both teams and what they bring to the table without all of the startup energy of the whistle. We're going to start to see them put together the game that they play. And now is when the true test character comes out.
Auburn was up 2-0 on Washington at this point last week and then didn't need any other goals. Ended up winning it 2-1. There's ball down the right side. Corner of the 18. Tripped up. And no foul called. It will be a goal kick for BYU.
Such a dangerous defensive play there by Ashley Bazzaroni. She comes in, she did not touch the ball. She was shoulder to shoulder with the player, but a lot of times when you don't make a play on the ball and you still take the player, you're gonna get that call, and she's inside the 18 there. So a little bit dangerous there. Bazzaroni needs to be smart in that backfield. BYU does not want to give up a goal to a PK in a game like today.
We're in the 22nd minute of the NCAA Women's Soccer Championships on BYU TV. Ringwood from the 18 took a shot and it was blocked by Nicholson. Michelle Murphy chasing it down in the corner. Crossing it in, here's Coulihan at the top of the box, turning to her right and hitting it well right of the net. We're at the stadium at Southfield on the campus of Brigham Young University. I'm Robbie Bolo with Madeline Lewis and Blake Tillotson. He's out there on the pitch somewhere, roaming around, hopefully staying warm.
Well, BYU starting to put some combinations together. They have a few shots. Only one real dangerous shot opportunity right now, which came off of Rachel Manning's volley shot, which was absolutely fantastic. The rest of their shots have been very, very wide. So BYU needs to start putting that ball on frame and allowing the pressure of their dynamic offense to do some work.
Ball getting a lot of touches here. We talked about her at the beginning.
Well, again, she has started in all three positions on the field, and you can see why. You can see she's incredibly athletic, great speed, good touch, good vision, and she's just all over this field. She is a little workhorse out there playing a great game tonight. 6
starts in defense, 12 in the midfield, and this is her 8th start as a forward.
Bazzaroni clearing it out, and she is going, and that one is going to hurt very, very bad, unfortunately. You're seeing Kim Spence on the ground there. She took that ball right to the face, and you are talking about a very cold night. That ball is going to feel like a brick just hit her in the face, and you're going to see her down on the ground. Again, that hurts. That hurts so bad in a cold, cold night like this. The ball, with the weight of the ball, it gets heavy. And so you've got a heavy ball, a cold face, and like I said, she's going to feel like she just got a brick thrown at her face. And so hopefully she is okay and able to continue to play this game, which I'm sure she will be. These are tough competitors out here, but we wish her well.
Spence is a junior from Lilburn, Georgia. Came off the bench as both a defender and a forward for the first part of the season, but in 16 of the last 17 matches, she's gotten a start as a defender, including tonight.
And making a great run on the ball, giving good pressure to Ashley Bazzaroni, who's clearing it out of the back. Again, she got hit hard, and I think the most concerning thing right now would be concussion. How is her head after this? So you see her coming out of the back. Bazzaroni's going to step and clear the ball, and was just going to smack her, and that is point range. I mean, that's point blank range right there. And like I said, icy conditions, heavy ball, that hurts very, very bad. So they're going to need to take her off, confirm that we don't have a concussion, that she knows where she's at, because that one's going to hurt.
Jordan Miller, the redshirt sophomore from Snellville, Georgia, is set to come on to replace Spence. And Alexa Allen is also waiting to come on, but she will stay here on the sideline for the time being. So Miller, the only one coming in. Miller herself had a leg injury that forced her to miss the first 5 weekends of SEC play. She is back and healthy and off the bench.
And you often don't see a lot of subs in the first half of these games until it gets into the later minutes, unless you have an injury. Number one reason for that is inside the NCAA, you can sub, but when you come off in the first half, you cannot re-enter in the first half. You can come back in the second half, but not in the first. And so a lot of coaches will save their subs, making sure they get good legs out of their starters, and then start to bring some fresh legs in as the time ticks away in the first half, and then allow those starters to re-enter the game in the second half.
The freshman Alexa Allen has come on as a sub in the forward spot for Auburn's offense.
BYU really
chest on it right there, and Paige Hunt is going to get called for the foul.
Good physical play again there. Alexa Allen coming for the ball, and she's going to win that ball. Paige Hunt is going to hit her from behind. Foul called, which was the right play to make, and the Auburn Tigers set up in a decent position. If they can get a good service on the ball, this can be a very dangerous goal-scoring opportunity for them.
Sierra takes the free kicks in some of the right-footed corners. Take a look at Jennifer Rockwood as the ball sent into the box. Chased down by Maddie Barnes. Barnes double teamed in the corner. Turns and able to get it to Reitmer. And Ulrich Cusick will tap it out. It'll be a throw-in for Auburn.
And that is a double team from Jaden Thornock and Dana Uldrich Cusick that I would never want to be in. You're like getting attacked by two little beavers there. I mean, Jaden Thornock and Dana Uldrich Cusick, both aggressive, fast, tenacious little players. And that is just not it's not a double team you want to face up against. Doing a nice job in that corner of winning the ball back.
BYU struggling to clear the ball out. It'll be another throw-in for Auburn. Kayla Faulkner. Throw it in. who's on the SEC all-freshman team this year. Thornock heads it to Ringwood. 4 straight headers before it settles at the feet of Carly Payne-Holmo.
BYU struggling to get in a real good possession rhythm, which is something that they do really, really well all of the time. Chloe Coulihan
slow to get up.
Taking a little seat there. Did not see what happened. She released the ball. She may have been hit after the release. Did not see that. But she released the ball looking for Carly Payne-Holmo up top, not finding her. Looks like she took a little knock at the same time, but she's up and at him and wincing a bit. She might feel that one for a moment.
Anna Kate was checking on her. Good sportsmanship from the senior midfielder for Auburn, one of 3 team captains for the Tigers.
Well, again, you're going to see physical play out here. You're going to see bodies flying all over the place. But at the end of the day, these are great young ladies out here. They're competitive. And they're just good people. And so, you know, you're going to have that competitive edge that's going to create the tenacity and the physicality. But at the end of the day, the person inside always wins out. And that's when you're going to see good sportsmanship and a helping hand to the opposite team who hit the ground.
Kate will clear it. Partially, Bazzaroni cuts it off. And now Paige Hunt near the left baseline. Ringwood turning to her left. Top of the 18. Kicking in the corner, Murphy crossing it in.
Well, she had Jaden Thornock inside, but wasn't quite able to get it to her. Now BYU trying to keep that ball inside. Auburn desperately trying to get it out.
Hunt keeps it in. Murphy giving chase. She's able to keep it in, and it goes right to Amy Howard.
Carly Payne-Holmo almost with a foot on that ball. Howard cleans it up nicely, but here's a great cross by Michelle Murphy, and Carly Payne-Holmo not able to get there. Just one leg's length away, literally, from that being a very dangerous goal-scoring opportunity. But again, Howard proving her experience as she has cleanly picked up the balls going back there. Not a lot of balls being blocked off of her, giving second chances from Howard.
Howard entered the match second all-time in SEC history in career saves. Also has 22 career shutouts, which is tied for second all-time at Auburn. We already mentioned no one in the country has played more minutes between the pipes than Amy Howard.
Well, in that sheet, we've got the battle of 2 phenomenal goalkeepers. Then you've got an Erica Owens who has not played so many minutes between the pipes, but the minutes she has played have been stunning. And she fills the shoes of some phenomenal goalkeepers coming through the ranks. And both teams with great security nets there in the net.
Owens, the goalkeeper of the year in the West Coast Conference. And a foul called. BYU will have a set piece on the offensive half of the field. 16.5 minutes to go before halftime. Coming up, we'll show you the top 10 BYU women's soccer plays of the regular season and recap the Cougars' historic season, becoming the first #1 seed in school history. And of course, we'll also have highlights of the first half and stats.
Lindsay Lisenby coming up to take this set piece as she can deliver a beautiful ball inside.
This one sailing left. Marissa Nimmer will come on. First substitution for BYU in this match, coming right at the 16-minute mark. Nimmer will replace Jaden Thornock, redshirt freshman from Orem. Had the second goal, which ended up being the game winner in the 40th minute against Utah State. She's had a strained hamstring, so we'll see how her range of motion is and how many minutes she can play if she's healthy.
You don't kick it nearly as far when you're thinking about not slowing.
Good touches there, keeping BYU in possession.
Olderhead Cusick hit Nicholson in the back, and it's cleared away by Auburn. Bazzaroni starting it right back up. Nimmer, the only left footer on the team, will take a shot, and a one-hop right into Amy Howard.
BYU getting some outside shots, but not a lot of dangerous ones. Again, only really one dangerous look so far on the net. And BYU, for such a strong offensive team, really we want to see them settle that ball down and work the ball inside and get some dangerous goal-scoring opportunities on.
31st minute, no goals. One yellow card coming in the 15th minute to Ashley Cotero, the midfielder for Auburn.
And that yellow card coming right after she had received a warning with a very hard hit on Michelle Murphy, and she gets the second.
Nimmer dancing around, and then too far for Carly Payne-Holmo, throw-in coming for Auburn. We haven't talked a whole lot about Carly Payne-Holmo. 6 goals on the year, 3rd on the team, 1st with 9 assists. And she's still sitting at 5th all-time in BYU history in career assists.
Well, she makes so much happen because she works so hard. She is constantly moving, constantly running, constantly sliding, constantly moving, and she just creates things. And then when she does get the ball up top, she either has that opportunity for the shot, or she comes back inside with the great field vision and finds that beautiful pass. So she's an outstanding offensive player, a senior on this team that will be well missed, and certainly wants to make a run right now to make her senior year very meaningful.
Free kick from Bianca Sierra. Barnes pushing it forward to Coffin. And Oldred Cusick will punch it out for a throw-in.
Game is starting to slow down just a little bit. You still see a good pace, but again, I think those the pregame jitters and the anxiousness and nerves have started to settle off, and we're starting to see a little bit more of a composed game from both teams. And BYU has been working to mount an attack.
Paige Hunt will
struggling
clear
a little bit with possession.
Ball into the box. Bazzaroni shields it all the way into Erica Owens. Under 13 minutes to play before halftime.
Good touch by Jess Ringwood.
Getting it through Michelle Murphy, giving chase, but can't beat Amy Howard to the ball.
And Amy Howard has been quick to get off her line tonight. She's not going to give up any of those easy through balls, so they're going to have to clean up those touches as they try to find those outside runners.
Barnes up the line. Too far, and it will roll out.
That's the best possible out of bounds play, right? That's like the kicker getting it to the 1 yard line.
Won't be a goal kick. BYU has to throw it in from deep in their zone.
From deep in.
That's a punt that goes out at the 1 yard line.
That's right.
And now another throw in coming a little bit further up the line. Reitmer redirects the ball. Now pushed forward to Carly Payne-Holmo. Settling at the feet of the senior. To her right. Coulihan right there in the 18, and she falls.
It looked like that ball was headed for Nimmer, making the far post run. Coulihan comes through and gets a touch on it. Not sure if that was a touch she should have taken, as it looked like Nimmer had that ball on her feet. But when you're that player, you have to take the opportunity, and Coulihan did that.
Nimmer now does get the touch. Back to Coulihan, trying to punch it through. Nimmer had stopped her line. And now Auburn controlling the ball on the back line. Nicholson will push it forward to the midfield. Barnes taken away by Hunt. One touch from Nimmer. Ringwood has Murphy on the left side, didn't see her, and then tried to thread it through.
She had 2 runners and didn't see either of them. Unfortunately, she just turned the wrong angle, but that was the good runs off the ball there. BYU starting to put those combinations and runs together that we've seen from them all season.
Just not executing as of yet, approaching 10 minutes to play before halftime.
We've watched a lot of these games this season, though, Robbie, and BYU has a way of surprising us in the last few moments of these halves.
Kim Spence will re-enter for Auburn, and Cammie Jensen also coming on for BYU, and she will replace Dana Oldroyd-Cusick. Jordan Miller coming back off for Auburn, so it was a straight sub originally, Miller for Spence, and they'll sub back, Spence for Miller. Cammie Jensen, who just entered, will throw it in. Payne Homo up the line. Nicholson is there and will trail it out of bounds. Or into touch, depending on which side of the pond you live on.
That's right.
Taken away by Jensen. Pushes it back to Lisenby Cutshall, and BYU will set up the offense from the back line. Cutshall into the box. Murphy.
It's a good touch for Murphy, and Marissa Nimmer giving a great battle there. Looked like she got kicked right in the head as she went in for that ball. She's going to be up and at him here, but that one definitely a yellow card given to
Marissa Nimmer for the tackle.
But she didn't actually hit the player. Take a look here. Here you have the ball come. Oh, she did get her on the last minute there. I didn't see that. She got her on the last minute. Giving an aggressive play after the ball. Gets the tackle and the yellow card. She's going to get the yellow because it's a late slide, and she missed the ball entirely and got the player, which is going to be a yellow card. But that again, you can't discourage the effort that's being put out on this field with that kind of play. You have a loose ball coming inside the 18 and a player going after it with that last-ditch effort to try and get a goal. So you can't be upset as a coach, as a player, giving those extra efforts to try and notch the goal for the team.
37th minute yellow card coming for Marissa Nimmer. Quintero had one in the 15th minute for Auburn, and another tackle, this time Michelle Murphy going down. The tackle from Kim Spence.
Substitutions.
A lot of physical play. You see Michelle Murphy getting a much-needed sub right after that. Kayla Barnes coming in for her. She got up a little bit gingerly after that last tackle.
Number 16, Michelle Murphy, and in the Cougar lineup.
Our congratulations to Kayla Varner. Her boyfriend Bryce Harper winning the MVP for the National League. Not the MVP, excuse me, Rookie of the Year for the Washington Nationals.
Very cool.
So she's hoping to even that out with an NCAA tournament win. Second round NCAA tournament win, National League Rookie of the Year, they're about equal, right?
That's right, that's right. Hopefully there's still a place that's open after this game to go to dinner if that happens. They can go celebrate. Here we go, Cammie Jensen has her second touch on the night so far after earning the game. It's been nice and clean tonight for Cammie Jensen. She is a fast player. Again, she replaces Dana Oldroyd-Cusick in that back line, but you don't miss much when BYU subs players. They have a strong depth of their team that really keeps the strength and the core moving right along.
Faulkner throws it in, and it will settle to Cammie Jensen. Jensen again. Plenty of green in front of her, and gets bumped off the ball and easily taken away. Coffin turning, and Coulihan blocks it. Under 7 minutes to play before halftime, and a throw in for Auburn. Coulihan named first team All WCC. Was an honorable mention a year ago playing for the Portland Pilots. Lisenby Cutshall will send it back the other direction. Marissa Nimmer couldn't settle it.
Almost for Marissa Nimmer, trying to settle and go to that left foot, which she loves, and she is in the spot of the field that she loves. We've seen her score 2 times so far this season from that location. Wasn't able to settle.
Ringwood,
oh,
depossessed.
She had Kayla Varner making a run right across the top of the 18. Not able to find that again. You got to give some serious credit here. The Auburn Tiger defense not letting anything easy happen tonight.
Coffin making a good run, and it's missed. And Owens will get a foot on it at the last minute. Paige Hunt Whew, let the ball go through her legs, and that was almost the first goal of the match.
And you gotta love that Erica Owens comes out and supports her for that, because that could have been a tragic mistake. You had Erica Owens coming out, and it makes you wonder, was there a miscommunication? Was Owens calling for the ball because she's coming off her line right here to receive it? And then Paige Hunt and Erica Owens, save of a lifetime right there between her legs.
Hunt tried to clear it with her right leg, and it hit her left leg and bounced back.
It's a little bit of luck, but deserved luck, right? Luck always comes to those that work hard. So good work back there, and you love the fact that Erica Owens comes out and makes Paige Hunt feel okay. Hey, it's all right. Mistake, we're good to go.
Corner kick for Auburn. Trickles through. Dangerous. And Paige Hunt makes up for it and takes it away from Allen, albeit momentarily. And now Bazzaroni will turn it up the line. Marissa Nimmer, BYU on the counter. At midfield, Varner. In the middle to Ringwood. Ringwood in the 18, and her first touch was too strong, and Amy Howard corrals it.
That's like the story of the night for this team so far in that offensive end. They're getting those looks, they're getting those touches, but right there on those last seconds, the touches are too much. And BYU getting closer and closer and closer, and you can feel the pressure, you can feel the momentum building. Less than 5 minutes to play in the first half. Both teams wanting to notch a goal here, and BYU really putting the pressure on here at the end of the second half.
Rachel Manning. Back to Lisenby Cutshall. Now she'll move it forward.
Carly Payne-Holmo so good with her back to the player. She's just a tough little player, very difficult to come through.
Kayla Varner dispossessed and will roll out for a throw-in. Coming for Auburn. Kim Spence with the ball in her hand.
There's a great ball, Marissa Nimmer over to Kayla Varner. A little look here, beautiful. Jess Ringwood in the right spot, but the touch just too much. And that's a Jess Ringwood special. That's the one she usually just has that beautiful soft touch, and then she notches the side netting for a goal. She would love to have that opportunity back.
Under 3.5 to play. Alexa Allen crossing it into the box. And Erica Owens scoops it up.
Some serious speed and pressure coming on the outside from Kofed, as she was not letting Erica Owens pick up that ball easily.
Ringwood corrals it. Moving to her left. Trying to cross it into Varner. Varner to her right. Got a soft shot off right to Amy Howard, and again Auburn escaping.
And Kayla Varner gets knocked a little bit. Jess Ringwood, beautiful ball inside here. Kayla Varner sets herself up, and then she's going to have that shot, but she's going to get taken at the same time. Some clean defense there by that Auburn. Again, Auburn defense just not giving up anything back there. No easy looks. No easy looks tonight. Now, one thing that I just realized, and you mentioned it earlier, but Spence re-entered the field of play. Is there a substitution rule allowing her to re-enter based on an injury in the first half? Because technically she should not be able to re-enter in the first half, as she was subbed in the first half. So based on NCAA rules, she should not be in that game right now, unless there's an injury rule I'm unaware of. What do you think?
2 minutes remaining in the first half of play.
You got me.
Am I missing something? She went out in the first half. She can't re-enter in the first half. I did not, unless there's an injury rule. Is there an injury rule?
Because you mentioned the re-entry rules in the second half.
Okay, there is an injury rule when it deals with concussions. That's good to know. Good to know.
That coming from BYU's career saves leader, Mackenzie Olson. She taught Erica Owens everything she knows.
Well, and Erica's probably quite grateful, considering the season she's having this year is spectacular.
And now she's our research assistant on the back row here.
That's right. She's having some hot cocoa keeping us in line over here. That's good. Where's she been all season, I wonder, huh?
75 seconds left to play in the first half. Auburn this year, 5-3-1 when they go into the half scoreless. BYU has not, they've won every single match that they have scored in this year. Their only loss this season at Utah, they lost 1-0. Their only draw this year to Santa Clara was 0-0. Every time BYU has scored, they have won. And right now we're sitting at a scoreless game in the final minute of the half. Marquette scored in the final minute of our first second-round game here earlier this afternoon. And that tied them with Princeton 1-1, and then they got 2 second-half goals to win 3-1.
Well, it's not appearing, unless there's something magical that happens in the next 20 seconds, that this half is going to end with a goal. But a reset at halftime is not a bad thing for both teams. I mean, you're going to have, again, you've got a lot of anxious energy that came out in the first half. Oh, that's a bad foul.
5 seconds to go.
3, 2, 1.
And the clock will expire. Alan Chapman wasn't willing to stop the clock and let Auburn set up for their final free kick, and there's no stoppage time in NCAA soccer. So we are scoreless, 0-0 at halftime. It's been good for Auburn most of the time this season when they've been scoreless, 5-3-1. BYU, 5-1-1 when scoreless at the half. The only 2 times they have not won, the loss at Utah and the draw with Santa Clara, it was scoreless.
A quick glance at their overall record of 18-1-1 is all it takes to notice that the BYU women's soccer team is having a special year. The Cougars are enjoying quite the turnaround after missing the NCAA tournament last season for the first time since 2004. And head coach Jennifer Rockwood says this is the best team she's coached.
We've worked really hard. We set some high goals this year. All our talk was this season was giving ourselves a chance to win a trophy in the conference and getting back to the tournament. We didn't ever really talk about being a #1 seed.
But the Cougars did just that. After dropping a game at Utah early in the season, BYU then ran the table to pick up a #1 seed for the big dance. But a season full of wins isn't necessarily a season without trials. Sophomore forward Jaden Thornock says those challenges has the team feeling like a family.
I think this season has been very special for us because we have grown extremely close as a team. We've had a lot of things that have brought us closer together, whether it was our loss against Utah to Dana's ACL tear, a lot of things that brought us a lot closer, and I think that we're more of a family than a team nowadays.
As the competition gets stiffer throughout the tournament, don't expect BYU to wilt. The Cougars are 4-0-1 when they play opponents ranked in the top 25, including a 3-1 win over current #1 seed Penn State. The key to that success has been the consistency of the Cougar defense, led by junior goalkeeper Erica Owens.
Erica Owens is incredible. She's a great player and she's a great leader on the field. She gives us so much energy when she makes those big saves.
Owens continually ignites the home crowd with her tremendous saves, including the first-round win over Utah State. Just 6 opposing goals have found the back of the net the entire season at Southfield. The Cougars have a long road ahead of them if they're going to make it to the championship. But they're happy much of that journey will be made on Southfield. Skylar Hardman, BYU TV Sports.
Last season, all 4 #1 seeds, Taro and Marissa Nimmer, as we look here at some of the plays from the first half, really highlighted how physical it has been.
Well, Jessica Ringwood, she's been engaged early. We talked about her at the stand-up, but there was one of the best opportunities of the game right there. Rachel Manning with a ripping shot. And then right there with the yellow card, very physical play there on Michelle Murphy. And right there, another very physical play coming in on the tackle was Marissa Nimmer. Both of those plays awarded yellow cards for both players. And then Paige Hunt with a near mistake, and Erica Owens with a lucky save with her foot on the ball. Keeps BYU in it with a 0-0 game. Kayla Varner pulls up a last-second shot, and that is going to end it for the first half. And now we enter the second half with a 0-0 game. Right, and I think the only real test Howard has had tonight was the shot from Rachel Manning, which was a beautiful volley, and Howard proves they're equal to the task there. And then Erica Owens having to make a save based on her own defender's error. But neither goalkeeper has really been tested to the degree they've had to make some career saves for the night.
Both teams are back out onto the pitch as we get set for the final, well, I shouldn't say too early, final 45 minutes. If nobody scores, we're going to keep playing beyond that. But 45 minutes on the clock here for the second half. Scoreless between BYU and Auburn.
Both teams, again, playing a very physical and very fast first half. We'll see how they come out in the second half with some of those pregame jitters done. They know how they match up against each other now. We're hoping in the second half we see these teams settle down and play their game, see who comes out victorious.
BYU putting the pressure on here in the first minute. Jessica Ringwood loses the ball. Manning tripped up.
Tripped and slipped, we should say, and then Chloe Coulihan is going to get called for that. Chloe Coulihan stepping in front of the player. The immediate step was not the foul. The problem was the ball kept rolling. She moved to a position where she's playing only on the player, not on the ball. So good call called here from our center official, and Auburn will take the kick.
1 minute into the second half. Alan Chapman is our head official. Blake Tillotson spoke with BYU head coach Jennifer Rockwood during the break. Blake?
She was extremely happy with the way her team played. She said that even though the opportunities weren't extremely dangerous, that those will come. She'd like to continue to see them work it up through the side and get those crosses in, but she was happy with the team played, and she says they're excited to come out the second half. Guys?
Well, I think that's a fair assessment, Robbie. If I were Jen, I'd be pretty happy too. I mean, if you look, you know, you had a few opportunities there. Jess Ringwood gets a classic moment, and her touch is just not quite right. Michelle Murphy gets several of her her signature slots. Nobody quite there to finish them, but those are the types of things that come as you can continue to play that game.
Jessica Ringwood will take the corner kick. First one of the second half for BYU. And it trickles all the way through. Kayla Faulkner giving chase. And last touched by Lindsay Lisenby Cutshall. Throw-in coming for the Tigers.
Well, with 2 minutes down in the second half, BYU already starting the second half better than the Utah State game where they were scored on in the first minute of play. Fell asleep a little bit coming out of the locker room, so I'm sure that Coach Rockwood is very pleased to see that in the first half of this half, they've gotten a shot and a corner already. So that's much more like the BYU team they're expecting.
Ball's up in the air, and Amy Howard will corral it. Scored on by Blake Tillotson's sister. We need to mention again, because a lot of red tape to get Blake to be our sideline reporter here tonight after his sister scored on BYU last week.
That's right. Now, BYU very aggressive so far in the second half. Love the enthusiasm, love the early energy we're seeing from them in going to goal at the start of this half. Didn't see that necessarily from them in the first half, and loving to see that here in the second half as the clock right now will be their worst enemy until a goal is notched.
Carly Payne-Homo kept it in. Down the line and doesn't get to Murphy. Nicholson will let it trickle out for a goal kick.
Again, a lot of pressure being put on Auburn defense early. BYU's been inside that 18 2 or 3 times already with only a couple minutes down in the second half.
Ball staying on BYU's offensive half. Manning gets taken down. Play on. And Homo's pass picked off.
Michelle Murphy making the run to the outside, Homo playing her to the inside. And just a little misread there.
Auburn still struggling to get it across midfield. Ball pushes it forward. And now BYU's defense will have to make a run. Bazzaroni.
Good chase there for Michelle Murphy and a good win. Now Manning to set him up.
Cami Jensen getting the start in the second half.
As
came
well
in to
as
replace
Kayla Varner.
And Kayla Varner, both of them came in as substitutes in the first half and stay on here in the second half.
Kayla Varner came in for Jaden Thornock in the, well, she actually came in as a second sub, I believe, in the first half. Stays on in behalf of Jaden Thornock. Cami Jensen staying in the back line, replacing Dana Oldroyd-Cusick.
Sierra Puts a boot in it and the magnet, of course, got her head on it at midfield. That is exactly why you dubbed her the magnet, Natalie.
Wait, I know, I'm telling you. It's unnatural the way the ball gets to her head. Oh!
Payne Holmo goes between Faulkner's legs. It's in the box. Ringwood can't get her foot on it. Left-footed shot from Murphy is blocked.
Carly Payne Holmo with the Meg on the sideline to set up the shot. If she would have scored, was it 2 points? Because, you know, when you score off the Meg, it's worth 2 points. Do you think they would allow that in the NCAA? No extra points for the Meg?
They'll let you sub back in for concussion-like symptoms, apparently,
Right,
but they won't give you
no
2 points for a
the
goal.
Meg. Well, dang it. That's all right, she didn't score anyways. But it was a good setup, good attack. Again, BYU being very aggressive, getting after the offensive end of the ball early in this half.
Now the ball all the way on the other end, so Auburn with a chance to mount an attack. Payne Holmo will let it go out. Last touched by Carly, and it'll be a throw in for Auburn.
And Paige Hunt with yet another.
No, now Alan Chapman changes direction now.
I don't
It'll be a
think
throw in for BYU.
I don't think he changed direction. Oh, well, it's still a BYU throw-in, but I think the issue was the coaches were getting very upset that BYU was creeping. This is something that is a strategic play by all players on the field. What happens is the ball goes out of bounds at a certain mark. They're supposed to throw it in there. As they're throwing it in, they tend to wander upfield about 5-10 yards, depending on who you are. And it's happening right now, yet again. It's a fairly typical thing in the game of soccer, but occasionally if the coaches raise a little bit of a stink about it, the referee will force them to go back to the spot of the throw-in.
Few things are exact in the sport of soccer. Time, position when you're throwing it in. Ringwood knocks it on, and
BYU's attack right now, not quite exact, not yet. They're working on it though, they're working on it.
Be sure to watch Countdown to Kickoff after BYU with Dave McCann, Jan Jorgensen, and Harvey Unga in Studio C. They'll get you ready for the game. Watch Countdown to Kickoff this Saturday on BYU TV.
Good ball outside to Kayla Varner, who earns BYU yet another goal kick here in the second half. And the pressure just keeps coming. You can feel the tension mounting a bit in the stadium here as BYU gets kind of ever closer to the offensive end.
Sent back into the box. Too far, Lisenby Cutshall will keep it in bounds. Stays in play, Cami Jensen. Line drive into the box, trickling through.
Oh, through 3 BYU players. What a beautiful cross from Cami Jensen. 3 BYU players had a shot at it, but weren't quite able to put a finishing touch.
Bazzaroni's pass intercepted. Throw in for BYU.
Ashley Bazzaroni, that was a very dangerous pass. She was the last defender on the line. But here's Cami Jensen. Here's the ball inside. You saw it go through Manning, and then Chloe Coulihan, and then Paige Hunt making the final play on it. Great ball, though, and a great rundown by Cutshall, who kept it in play. Gets the release back to Cami Jensen. Cami Jensen with the cross. And now BYU on the sideline here with the throw-in. After what was almost a very dangerous play by Ashley Bazzaroni, she was the last defender after that attack, and played a ball that was picked off from the Auburn defenders.
That one picked off as well. Lisenby Cutshall directing Ashley Bazzaroni. Up the line towards Varner, and it goes out. 10 minutes gone here in the second half, still scoreless at South Field.
Well, a lot of pressure coming on from the Cougars in the second half. Auburn Tigers yet to get anything mounted offensively yet. Been pretty quiet in the box for Erica Owens so far in the second half. But Howard has had to be on her toes a couple times.
Payne Holmo cutting back towards the middle. Coulihan was there, but a little little too far.
Oh, they're just 6 inches off on the attack is all it is. And you had right there again, a great ball in, and you had Chloe Coulihan just 6 inches off and just getting so close every single time. And again, BYU really putting the pressure on offensively in the second half. Again, fairly quiet in the back end here, not really getting into their offensive half yet.
Murphy takes a shot. Blake Tillotson told us at the top of the broadcast that this was a fast pitch, and we're seeing that with some of these passes.
Well, those balls, the shot you just saw Murphy take that Howard cleaned up very nicely, those are not easy shots. With the ground like it is, it's getting a bit moist with the damp night air. You also have the cold. The coldness is going to give the weight of the ball a little bit of a different spin. And Howard coming out and just really cleaning it up and taking care of business is a very skilled goalkeeper, obviously, for the Auburn Tigers.
Murphy passes off to Holmo, feeding it back through to Murphy. The freshman will try and cross it in, gets it to Ringwood. And the defense collapsing inside the box to clear it back out. Murphy will give a second crack at it. Crossing in the middle, Varner was there, but couldn't get a touch on it.
And it looked like it was close to going over the touchline for a goal kick, but instead they're going to be way back in their end for a throw-in here for the Auburn Tigers.
Back by the snow piles. Yes, that is snow. 2 hours before kickoff last Saturday in the first round, this entire field was covered in snow. The athletic director, the volleyball coach, all the soccer coaches were all out here with shovels clearing off the field, and they were able to play a game on Saturday. Believe it or not, a lot of the snow that was here has melted. There were huge piles of it all on the outside of the pitch.
We could see from the opening of the game when we showed some replays of a couple of replays that happened in that game. I mean, the trees were snow covered. Everything was snow covered.
It was a whiteout. This was the only green in the entire valley.
We were watching the game in the stands, and the snow was built up. The snow was built up all the way underneath of you, and you were sitting on a bleacher, but technically you were sitting on snow with a bleacher into the snow.
All that's left of Frosty is right there along the fence.
And it's still been cold, but has not been snowing. So you can see as this game progresses, the breath of the players coming out. It is a crispy night.
Ball working on Paige Hunt, trying to cross it in, and Hunt got her foot on it. It'll be a corner kick for Auburn. Their third one of the match.
And their first offensive attack of the second half so far. Really, we're 14 minutes in, is their first offensive attack here, and winning a corner kick.
59th minute. Ball crossed in the box and trickles into touch for a goal kick.
Looked dangerous for a moment, but easily handled.
Michelle Murphy is onside. Top of the 18. Taken away. Kayla Faulkner was poised the entire time.
And Michelle Murphy, tremendous speed, wins the ball on the downside. You were wanting her to just take that ball one touch inside. She chooses to cut back against the defender, loses the ball, loses the onside opportunity, but a great run and good effort by Michelle Murphy there on that outside.
Jensen's shot sails wide left. Goal kick for Howard. Scoreless match, and still I've yet to see either of these keepers tested to their full capacity. These are two of the best keepers in the country.
BYU continues to drop that ball inside the 18, but the Auburn Tigers defense really just not giving them any easy looks tonight. They are having to work for everything that they get, and even then when they're getting a shot off, we've seen just about every shot deflected, and if it's not deflected, it's coming from the outside, and Howard's cleaning it up.
Ringwood, top of the 18, wide left.
And that's a good shot for Jessica Ringwood. We've seen her score from there a plethora of times, which is my word for the night. And she takes the shot at the top of the 18. A good hit for her, just goes outside to the left, but that's one of those that she can find on frame and really have an opportunity with.
Auburn comes in with a 13-10-1 record, and few teams in the NCAA tournament have double-digit losses, but you have to understand how difficult the SEC is and some of the difficult teams Auburn has had to play, and they really got in because of what they did in the SEC tournament. They upset the 3-seed Tennessee, the 2-seed Texas A&M, both of whom were ranked in the top 25, and then ended up losing to top-seeded Florida 3-0. That was a rematch of last year's SEC title match, which Auburn won to earn the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. And here they are for the 7th straight year. Payne Holmo goes down, dispossessed by Faulkner.
Good battle in that corner.
And Holmo makes the tackle on the other end.
She's not giving up that easy, is she? Coming back for more. Not going down without a fight, not this time.
Her father-in-law is athletic director Tom Holmo.
No call here, as we have a good battle going on between both players. You know, that's a tough one to call. The referee says play on, and they do.
Manning passes it back to Jensen. Jensen sprinting by Tori Ball, cutting into her left. And some miscommunication inside the box, which has been the story of this match for BYU.
Yeah, just some missed opportunities for BYU, but they're certainly getting the opportunities, and that's the thing at this stage in the game. You know, you've got some time. You know that this is a team that can put it together. They just got to keep pushing through those opportunities until they connect one of them. And again, they have tremendous opportunities coming their way, so if they can just find the opportunity to connect and finalize.
28 minutes to go in the box. The shot goes right to Amy Howard.
And look at Howard, so solid. Everything that comes her way, she gobbles up. No bounces, no misses. She gobbles them up.
As it gets later and the dew begins to settle, we've seen players slipping a lot more out there on the pitch as well, which will be something to watch in these last 27.5 minutes of the half.
So far, Auburn seems unaffected by the elevation, playing just as hard and aggressive and quick as they were in the first half. It does not look like they're slowing down.
The Tigers will make the first substitution of the second half. Alexa Allen, the freshman, will come back on to replace Ashley Catero, who had the yellow card in the 15th minute. And there's no goal scored. That's our only contributions to the matches are yellow cards. Nothing against Catero.
That's right. Or Nimmer. But here's the reality of the second half so far. It has been all BYU all day long. I mean, Auburn has had one offensive attack that resulted in a corner kick for them. Other than that, BYU is really keeping them. I mean, they haven't really even gotten inside the 20, 25 yards inside the net here. So BYU doing a nice job of using their offense as a defense against this Auburn team.
Jaden Thornock playing to the crowd as she re-enters for the first time here in the second half to replace Kayla Varner, who gave some solid minutes there in relief in the first half and for the first 20 minutes here of the second half.
Well, Kayla Varner worked hard. You could see she had several opportunities, some good setups, really getting inside, showing her speed and athleticism. And now coming in with Jaden Thornock, who again is, I don't know if you're allowed to play favorites. She may be one of my favorites out here on the pitch. She just has that aggressive tenacity, a lot of speed, and certainly that hunger to go to goal.
Ball loose in the box. Finally cleared away. Jaden Thornock, certainly a fan favorite, and you will hear it from the fans.
There's a little look at the tenacity that I was talking about. She just plays so hard, so physical, a lot of great speed, and a lot of great looks that she gets, and she creates a lot just through her sheer efforts.
No snow on the pitch, it's all off to the side, but that actually affects Jaden Thornock quite a bit, because where that snow is, she does not have room to do a flip throw in that she normally does.
Which is unfortunate for this BYU team, because this is a position in which she would typically take that opportunity and do a flip throw when you're into that position. Now, the danger of a flip throw, she can throw that thing as far as someone can kick it. So you've got almost a corner kick situation with a throw-in, which is a very advantageous thing for the Cougars.
Cross into the box, no one there to receive it.
Michelle Murphy, the runner, but she was inside near post. Jaden Thornock sending the far post cross.
We call that a punt.
A punt.
Just give it to the other team.
Yeah, in the game of soccer, sometimes you have some miscues. You have a few opportunities and things that just don't quite work out like they should. Here we have Lindsay Lisenby playing that ball into Jaden Thornock, not quite able to get there, but oh so close. Michelle Murphy winning the ball on the outside, sending the cross inside, and not quite able to get it to the feet of Jess Ringwood. We've had those all night long.
Jessica Ringwood was whistled for the foul. Free kick for Auburn. Natalie Donaldson replaced Anna Kate. During that last stoppage, Tori Ball has the ball at her feet. And it's going to get whistled for the shove.
Chloe Coulihan doing a nice job when positioning their ball. Ball playing inside there. It looked like she may have gotten a little frustrated here. You see Chloe Coulihan. You know, Chloe's got hands on just as much, but it looks like the call we're going to get there as ball got her, flipped her heel a bit when she was going after the ball. And that's what the call is going to be for on Tori Ball up there. Again, Tori Ball, a tremendous athlete, great player for these Auburn Tigers.
Cami Jensen sending it forward. Payne Holmo giving chase and won't get there in time. It's cleared away by Mary Nicholson. Throw in coming for BYU.
Cami Jensen coming out of the back to make the throw in.
Murphy turning to her left. Top of the 18. Didn't take the shot. Here's Manning. And Thornock slipped.
Michelle Murphy, a goal-scoring freshman, albeit a freshman, a goal-scoring freshman. She's got to shoot that ball. She has got to shoot that ball. She's winning the ball inside. She's making the right decision. She's heading inside. She's got to shoot the ball. She's got to make that final piece happen here.
Coulihan at midfield. Lisenby Cutshaw will send it forward. Thornock giving chase. And it's kicked out by Sierra.
Jaden Thornock throwing it in on that outside, and BYU cannot let up on the pressure they have been giving to this Auburn defense. They have got to continue to push, and they've got to find somebody who wants to step up and say, that's it, I am going to score the goal tonight. They're getting a lot of creation and then a lot of just those miscues, those little missed passes, and they just need someone to step up and say, give me the ball, I'm shooting, I'm scoring.
Under 22 minutes to play in the second half.
And it's going to look like a late call here by the official, but basically what's happening is he saw the foul, he allowed a play on, but when nothing happened from the play, he goes ahead and whistles the ball dead for the foul. And Chloe Coulihan to set this up, she has a beautiful, beautiful set piece where she can bring a little bit of spin onto the ball, and we'll see what she goes for here.
Alexa Allen was whistled for the infraction, and it's high up and lands on top of the net.
Oh, I thought for just a minute that might have gone in. Beautiful set piece like we were talking about. Look at the spin she puts on this ball as it comes into the outside, coming down, and it is inches away from that crossbar, and it was beautifully played. Howard in position to get a hand on it. Beautiful set piece from Chloe Coulihan, and BYU again continuing to pressure that goal.
That might be on frame at sea level. That's how close that was. Payne Holmo to her right, her left. Michelle Murphy in the box. And it's cleared out.
Michelle Murphy getting all kinds of opportunities inside there, just not having the opportunity to pull the trigger.
Dana Oldroyd-Cusick returning to the match to replace Cami Jensen. Senior throwing into the freshman, Michelle Murphy, double teamed, taken away, and another throw in.
And Dana Oldroyd-Cusick, while a defender, has a couple goals on the season. And when you're Jennifer Rockwood at this point, the minutes are ticking down. You're having a lot of opportunities, not finishing your opportunities yet. you got to make sure you have your top goal scorers in this match right now. They're people who want to get a goal so that you can start getting some additional shots on goal and keep the pressure coming on that net.
71st minute in Provo, Utah. Still scoreless in the second round of the NCAA tournament. BYU, the #1 seed.
Beautiful move on the outside by Michelle Murphy.
Murphy crossing it in. Foot on it and saved. Chloe Coulihan was in pursuit of goal #6, and Howard makes the save. Biggest save of the night for Amy Howard.
And it went right to her, unfortunately, for Chloe Coulihan, but it was a beautiful one-time hit and a good setup by Michelle Murphy. So again, the pressure keeps coming. Michelle Murphy with the slot pass, Coulihan with the one-time notch. It just happens to go right into the arms of Howard, who has been in the right place at the right time all night long.
Payne Homo giving chase. She was onside, cutting to her left. Ball poked away. Payne Homo recovers. Right foot, top of the 18. And Howard right there.
There's no time to breathe in this game, Robbie. There is all kinds of pressure coming on that goal, but Howard is not having any of it so far tonight.
8 shots on goal for BYU, just 1 for Auburn. It's been all BYU here in the second half. But as you know well, in the sport of soccer, it just takes one opportunity, one mistake to change everything.
Well, and it just takes one, it takes one going in to change the game, and you see this type of thing happen in soccer so much that you've got shot after shot after shot after shot after shot. Finally, one of them will fall for you. So BYU they cannot get frustrated. They have got to continue to push and push hard and continue to mount the attack they've been mounting. They have the opportunities. They need to stay relaxed, don't get frustrated, but push with pressure towards that goal.
Final 18 minutes of the second half, and at this late stage in the match, it may just take one goal to do it.
And BYU is no stranger to a 1-0 game, but we do know when they score, they win. So Auburn obviously doing everything that they can to keep that from happening.
Anna Kate returns to the match. She'll replace Maddie Barnes.
Also leaving the game, number 27, Maddie Barnes.
Lisenby Cutshaw will clear it. Spence, partially blocked by Rockwood. Murphy has it taken away by Donaldson. Taro to Allen. Allen trying to feed through and taken away by Manning. Pushes it forward. Holmo giving chase. Shielded off. Couldn't get her foot on it. Howard got the save.
That was a little weird. What was Howard doing there with the hand? Just making sure no one was near her. I couldn't quite tell what she was doing. She got a clean save on the ball, but I didn't know if she had pulled a hamstring or what. She was down on the ground there for a minute waving her hand.
Where she was waving, that was right about where Holmo was kicking. I didn't see any contact, however.
I didn't see any contact either. Interesting there, but BYU continuing to mount the pressure, and Howard getting busy in the second half.
Donaldson, plenty of green in front of her. Pushing it forward.
Auburn working their way into the offensive third for only the second time here, I think, in the second half.
Allen will take a shot, saved by Owens. BYU now quickly on the counter. Paige Hunt across midfield.
Bringing the ball, BYU with some good numbers. Oh, Carly Payne Holmo picked off.
Good steal from Mary Nicholson, one of the other team captains. Made the SEC All-Tournament team. She scored the second goal at Washington last week on a corner kick in the 15th minute. 75th minute here, about 15 to go. Still scoreless. If it stays that way, we'll head to overtime. Holmo pushed off the ball.
Carly Payne-Homo just working over there in that corner, trying to do everything she can to keep the ball alive. And now you see the speed of Michelle Murphy coming back to keep things in play. Good settling play here for BYU. And again, they just need to be patient here. Plenty of time, plenty of opportunities. They just need to be patient and finish.
Haley Gherkin will enter the game for the first time for Auburn, and she's replacing Natalie Donaldson.
Now keep in mind, when I say be patient, I don't mean not shoot. That's an important distinction. They just need to not get frustrated, but they've had missed opportunities. They just need to keep taking those opportunities, and they'll get one.
Off the ball, still fighting, and gets pulled. Foul's going to be called, and it'll be a set piece for BYU.
Faulkner over on that side, mixing it up with Jaden Thornock. Great aggressive play here for both parties. Jaden Thornock coming in, giving battle. Faulkner playing hard, Thornock playing hard. Both of them getting their arms involved, both of them playing. Jaden Thornock tries to go through the legs, does so, and then Faulkner gets on the outside. But you can see right after Faulkner puts her hands up, oh, I didn't mean to do that. So that was an unintentional foul, but a foul just the same.
Good free kick from Lindsay Lisenby Cutshall, but no one was there to receive it. Watch True Blue Monday night for a preview of the regular season finale football at New Mexico State. And basketball coach Dave Rose will be in studio to discuss BYU's newest recruiting class that was announced yesterday. Get a front row view Mondays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on BYU TV. 2 of the 5 announced in the class will be with the team next year. The other 3 will all go on their LDS church missions immediately out of high school, an option now available to them after President Monson's announcement in General Conference that young men may serve missions at age 18 now. So 3 of those 5 will serve missions right out of high school. The other 2 will join Dave Rose's squad next year.
That'll change the dynamic a bit for the men's sports here at BYU. And it may also change the dynamic of the women's sports.
Women can now serve at age 19 instead of age 21, so you may have some that will choose to serve missions.
And this BYU team just continuing to pressure.
Payne-Homo taken down. Whistle blown.
She wants a yellow card for the foul. But she got the foul, but not the yellow. Here comes the ball inside, and she is going to be taken down from the backside from Sierra. However, I'm not going to go with the cardable offense on that one.
Chloe Coulihan will take the free kick.
And again, she is dangerous at this. This is a good position for her, a great opportunity for BYU.
About 25 yards out. Sends it in and high over the bar.
BYU, they've just got to keep in this game. Again, 11 minutes to play in the second half. And Chloe Coulihan setting herself up for the set piece. Goes for the near post over the wall. Not quite able to get it low enough to go in.
Ball threads the needle to Gherkin. Tapped away by Coulihan right to Kate. Sent forward. Goes on through, and Lisenby Cutshall will chase the ball down and kick it out.
Again, these Auburn Tigers are putting up a fight. BYU putting so much pressure offensively on in the second half, and Auburn not cracking one bit. They're getting a deflection or a body on just about everything, and BYU have to work very, very hard for everything they get. And then Auburn taking their opportunities on the counterattack to get involved offensively. So impressed so far with this Auburn team, and certainly I think that they are better than their record, which shows you the strength of the conference that they're in.
Mary Coffin re-enters to replace Logan Beal for Auburn. Jaden Thornock down the middle of the field, top of the 18. Turns around to Oldroyd Cusick, who will send it into the box. Ringwood couldn't get her head on it. It was cleared away by Bianca Sierra.
Great speed, great athleticism shown there by Jaden Thornock as she brings the ball at speed into the attack. And then she opts to give it to Dana Oldroyd-Cusick, who's going to send in that cross. Jess Ringwood not able to get ahead on it, as again, Auburn, as I mentioned, getting a touch on everything and really disrupting the flow of BYU's offense.
81st minute, Thornock will throw it in. Homo dropped it off, and offsides is the call.
Jaden Thornock with the toss into Carly Payne-Homo, but then the entire back line moved. So by the time she passes that ball back, she is now in an offside position, and you can see that very, very clearly on that line.
Mary Nicholson was the furthest back defender, and she was right at the top of the goal box.
And for those who are new to the sport of soccer, a player is in an offside position when they are behind the last defender and don't already have the ball.
Cami Jensen across midfield. Slows up, cutting into her left. Goes back towards the right. And Cami Jensen now gripping her leg. She was just kicked. Not a bad play. Kim Spence just cleared the ball, and Cami Jensen went sliding into her leg.
And it'd be not a good thing for Cami Jensen to go down, because Dana Oldroyd-Cusick just came out in her behalf and has already entered once and said, well, I guess she can re-enter one time, so she'd be all right. They'd have a sub.
Murphy, top of the 18, partially blocked and goes right into Howard.
Took the shot that time, but again, Auburn just getting a little something on a little bit of everything. Here's a look at Cami Jensen. Looks like she gets that hit off, but she also takes a hit herself, and you can see her out there on the pitch. She is tender. She is definitely hurting from that.
Lisenby Cutshaw all the way forward from the back line. You see how fast she is. She's taken down.
Referee
and
says
nothing
play
called.
on, play on. The fans are not happy. I couldn't see from this angle to see if I would be unhappy or not, but the fans are definitely unhappy about the Cutshaw takedown that just happened in the corner. Here comes Lindsay Lisenby Cutshaw. She has a touch on the ball. She comes in and she gets, she got a good nudge there. That's an iffy ball. I'm pretty sure if I'm a ref in this game, I'm not giving a PK for that. That's a fairly clean charge by Faulkner. She didn't have her arms out. She didn't push her. She didn't kick her.
At midfield, maybe the free kick, but in the box,
yeah,
it's got to be a lot worse than that.
It's got to be worse. In a game like tonight, you don't give up a game with a call.
And a season, not just a game.
And a season.
Giving up a season.
Exactly. There's going to have to be some pretty raw fouling going on in the box for this referee to give a PK tonight.
The announced attendance tonight, 2,317. BYU last year and this year, #2 in the entire country in attendance, behind Portland, another WCC team. And I'm going to say weather has a lot to do with that.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't you much rather go to a soccer match at Portland?
Well, you know what? That's the thing. Tonight, usually you have just such an unbelievably beautiful setup out here, but it is cold tonight, and I think you get a lot of families that have a lot of little kids that struggle coming out to games that are this cold.
And 3 times this season, BYU has gone head-to-head with football, and so you're certainly going to lose some numbers there because people will head to the football game.
Cami Jensen cutting inside to her left and getting a great look at goal, but again, Auburn just getting something on everything. A deflection there, and Cami had the angle, and that ball was headed in the right direction, but Auburn constantly deflecting BYU's offensive attack.
6 minutes away from what will officially become a golden goal situation, but right now, in a scoreless match, you're pretty much already in a golden goal. Anybody scores, and that is most likely going to end it here in the final 6 minutes.
And again, BYU with a ton of opportunities here in this second half certainly does not want to see this go into overtime.
It's cleared away. It'll be a throw-in for BYU. Jessica Ringwood pleading her case and not getting a foul call.
Well, the fans are getting what they paid for tonight, which is an intense and tough game on this pitch, and it's going to go right down to the wire tonight.
Nimmer will cross it in. And the ball goes out for a throw-in for BYU.
BYU keeping it alive in the offensive end here.
Manning turning. And the shot didn't get through.
Went to actually hit Carly Payne-Holmo as she was coming through. Carly trying to move out of the way of Manning's hit.
Murphy trying to thread the needle to Holmo. She's taken down. Whistle blows, and Carly Payne-Holmo is going to be whistled for the infraction.
This time, she and Sierra have had a few interactions tonight, but this time, Carly getting the better side of that one, and the Tigers with a hit.
This stage in every game, Carly Payne-Holmo has a relationship of some sort with her defender.
Absolutely, and it's usually not very pleasant. Oh, I would hate to defend her. I mean, let's be honest. She runs all the time. She's incredibly aggressive. She is just constantly pounding on you. And so when you're that defender, I mean, that is just tough, tough work right there. So.
There's Holmo again. Tries to go back to the middle. Coulihan fell.
And that's just that inch off right there. I mean, that was a beautiful play. Holmo right to Coulihan, and I'm not even sure what happened, but Coulihan had the ball right at her feet, and it looked like she slipped on the pitch and wasn't able to get the shot off. But just the unfortunate little missteps here of these missed opportunities, leaving BYU with very little time left in the second half and a whole lot of missed opportunities. But some serious credit also to Auburn, who, when BYU has maintained that control, has maintained that opportunity and gotten inside for the shot, Auburn constantly getting something on the ball to not allow it to go into a clean shot opportunity.
We've been scoreless for almost 87 minutes, and it's not because we're not seeing two fantastic teams out there. It is because we are seeing two fantastic teams out there. Throw in for BYU. In the first half, it seemed to me pretty even as far as possession, but here in the second half, gosh, 70-30, 80-20 almost. BYU has been dominating possession. Loose ball, and the shot goes wide to the left from Jessica Ringwood.
And it's not just possession, it's offensive attack and offensive opportunity that they've been dominant in the second half. And I would agree the first half was much more of a 50-50 battle, both teams getting some equal looks, really. But in the second half, BYU, it's been all BYU all half long and just unable to capitalize. And here's one of those moments, Jess Ringwood with that open far post, but she goes wide.
Beal and Barnes re-enter, Ball and Kirkin lead the pitch for Auburn.
Chloe Coulihan chasing it down.
Payne-Holmo at the corner of the 18. Cuts back to the inside. And Nicholson blocks it.
Definite deflection. That should be I'm not sure how that's not a BYU ball.
Alan Chapman calling the deflection in Auburn's favor. Under 2 minutes to play now in the second half.
And if you're Auburn right now, you are just praying that that clock ticks off so that you can have a moment with your team to regroup. They've been pounding on you for 45 minutes. If you're BYU right now, you are just praying that in the next minute and a half this ball goes in because you've worked so hard for it and have just not had those opportunities fall for you.
90 seconds away from heading to overtime. BYU won the season opener at UC Irvine in OT and also tied 0-0 with Santa Clara, so 1-0-1 this year. Auburn is 1-1-1 in overtime this season. Their one draw coming against Tennessee in the SEC tourney, and then they won in the shootout.
Not a lot of time here for the corner game as these ladies need to try and get a last opportunity at goal with under a minute to play.
Murphy
that's
goes
a
down.
Definite takedown in the box. That is a definite takedown in the box.
44 seconds to go,
left,
and BYU's going to get a PK.
That's unbelievable, but we're going to rewatch this. We talked about it. He's not going to give it away. This has to be real. Let's have a look and see what happens inside of the box. Michelle Murphy in good position, brings herself inside. Beautiful touch on the ball, very calming touch. Gets to the inside, and that is an absolute foul inside the box. No questions asked. PK. No one can complain about that.
Bianca Sierra was the one that took down Michelle Murphy. 44 seconds away from the whistle that would send us to overtime, and the senior Carly Payne-Holmo will have a penalty kick on Amy Howard.
I'm supposed to be calling this game, and I can't watch this right now. I'm just teasing. I gotta watch. Gotta watch. Carly Payne-Holmo, an outstanding athlete here, an outstanding senior. You can tell by the holes in her socks that she's been working hard tonight. And I always tease her about her socks at the end of the game. They're just terribly dirty. It's a good
Alan
sign.
Chapman will blow the whistle. And Payne-Holmo scores! BYU leads at 1-0, 43 seconds left to go in the half.
Oh my gosh, what? Talk about a pressure situation across the board. Carly Payne-Holmo stepping up so huge with this PK. That is unsavable. It was a beautiful shot, and BYU gets the PK late in the game. If you're Auburn right now, you are devastated. There is less than a minute to play. You have not had goal-scoring opportunities all over, and BYU right now has got to make sure they keep their head in this game for 43 seconds. Every ball in the bag has got to come out, and Auburn has to bring everybody out of the back and just go for it. You have nothing to lose.
Allen and Ball both come back on. Two more forwards.
43 seconds remaining.
And you're seeing right now Auburn bringing 9 players to the line. They got to go for it. They got to all go forward. Everybody's got to go forward right now. If you're Auburn, everybody's got to go.
BYU 40 seconds away from meeting Marquette on Saturday in the 3rd round.
Marissa Nimmer picks the ball off and is just going to kick it out of bounds. Again, Auburn bringing everything they have up into the offensive end. BYU trying to take their time on that sideline and keep the ball. What a throw by Chloe Coulihan. A
And
great
Payne-Holmo knocks it on. Only 11 seconds left for Auburn. And BYU still has it. It's off in the corner, 5 seconds to go. And that'll do it. BYU goes on to the 3rd round. They will host Marquette on Saturday night.
Talk about a pressure situation, Carly Payne-Holmo. And you got to feel bad for Faulkner right now, who has the foul, who's just feeling terrible over there in that corner. But she played an outstanding game. She's got to keep her head up. She played so hard, and that is such a difficult thing. That defensive line was being pounded for that entire second half.
Carly Payne-Holmo converts the